UFC 296 might be the best card of the year. Dana White has been announcing a lot of fights this year, and it's looking like the last 3 pay-per-views for this year will be worth the watch and the pay. The main event for UFC 296, Leon Edwards vs. Colby Covington. Leon Edwards is 21-3 and has put on 2 very impressive performances over Kamaru Usman and looks to add a second title defense against another great wrestler, Colby Covington. Colby is 17-3 and has not fought in over a year when he defeated Jorge Masvidal. I imagine Leon Edwards will win this fight just because of what he did to Kamaru Usman, but we will be talking about this fight later on when it gets closer to that time. The co-main event is going to be a fire flyweight fight, Alexandre Pantoja vs. Brandon Royval. Pantoja looks for his first title defense. This fight is very interesting because Brandon Royval previously lost to Pantoja back in 2021 due to a rear naked choke in the second round, but he has won 3 straight fights since then and has put on very impressive performances to show he is ready for the title. At the co-main event, we are getting quite a weird matchup, I think. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who is definitely at the tail end of his career, will be facing undefeated 100% finish rate fighter Shavkat Rakhmonov. This fight will be good if it stays on the feet. I imagine Rakhmonov will take this fight to the ground and beat up Wonderboy. But if Wonderboy wins, this is a great win to have to enter the #1 contender for the welterweight belt. The second fight in the main card, we are getting Paddy Pimblett versus Tony Ferguson. Paddy has won 6 straight fights and Tony Ferguson has lost 6 straight fights. This is a sad matchup for Tony because Paddy obviously doesn't have great hands, but his ground game is pretty legit. And I feel like in the past 6 fights, Tony's ground game has just gotten worse and worse. I mean, he got submitted by Bobby Green, which just shows you Tony is clearly declining hard, and I imagine Paddy wins this fight because of his grappling and will probably submit Tony. But I would love to be wrong. I would love to see Tony finish Paddy and retire after this fight. The opening fight for UFC 296 is Vicente Luque versus Garry. This fight will be very fun to watch. Luque is a big striker with great power, and Garry in his last 2 fights has just put on insane performances with knocking out Daniel Rodriguez and beating the shit out of Neil Magny. I feel like Garry should win this fight, and we should see more improvement from Garry and more of his game coming together. I think this card will really help show the upcoming fighters like Garry, Paddy Pimblett, and Shavkat Rakhmonov and put them in a great spot for 2024. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.